Hello, everyone. It's Nova. I'm so glad you could join me. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to journey into the creative cosmos of Nicholas Alexander Benson. We'll be looking at just one day, November 1st, 2025, to really see how his ideas spark and come to life. And our journey really starts where all the best stories do, right? Deep in the subconscious. We're going to follow a single idea, this tiny spark of dreamlight, and watch how it travels from his inner world and actually becomes real art, real action. So let's dive in. So for Nicholas, the day doesn't really kick off with the sunrise. Nope, it begins in a place he calls the storyverse. You can think of it like a multiverse of cosmic bubbles, where literally every possible story exists. And it was right there, in that magical, lucid space between sleep and waking, that something totally new was discovered. And this wasn't just some random dream, It's all part of this huge, ongoing epic. For months now, Nicholas has been exploring this inner cosmos with his crew. And you know them well, characters like the wise Leon, the super inventive Johnson, and of course, his AI companions, Second Brain and Overdrive. They're all such a vital part of this story as it unfolds. So picture this. It's 5 a.m., right on the dot. He's just induced lucidity, and then something huge happens. It wasn't a fight, it wasn't a new world, it was the unlocking of a brand new sense. A totally new way of seeing for the whole team. And get this, it was a power he'd actually been researching in his waking life, and he just willed it into existence. And they named it Upsight. This is such a fascinating leap, isn't it? I mean, their other abilities, like Lucid Light, were all about shaping the present. But Upsight? This is about reading the future. It's like they can perceive the universe's sacred code now. It's a total shift from being architects of reality to becoming seers. So what's the first thing they do with this incredible, new, precognitive power? You might think they'd use it to win a fight or something, right? But no, they used it to help a lost soul. They came across this werepumpkin, a traveler who was totally lost in the storyverse. And they used Upsight to see its destiny, to guide it to a world where it could find its family. Just a beautiful, simple act of kindness. Okay, so as Nicholas starts to wake up, you'd think the dream would just fade away, right? Not this time. Instead, all that energy was immediately channeled. That line between the subconscious and the conscious, it just became this open highway for a flood of creativity. He started turning the dream into something real, something tangible. And just look at this creative burst. It's incredible. In less than an hour, that one single dream about Upsight got transformed into 5 completely different projects. He whipped up a comic, an anime sequence, a wiki page to get all the details down, a dreamcast to analyze it, and even a song. This is exactly how a fleeting dream becomes a permanent piece of his world. And this is where it gets really cool, because you can see the direct link between his waking interests and his dream world. In his own Dreamcast analysis, he pointed out that Upsight is basically a perfect manifestation of his work with predictive AI. So he's taken a real-world tech concept and just given it this magical, metaphysical form in his stories. Amazing. And of course, the story had to be set to music. In what he calls his dream tune, he wrote these lyrics that just perfectly captured the discovery of Upsight and that first act of kindness. So now the dream doesn't just exist in pictures and words, it has a soundtrack. Its emotional heart has a melody. But wait, the morning's creative storm didn't just stop with the dream. Oh no. That first spark just ignited a whole new fire, leading to the birth of brand new heroes and even a new soundtrack for his ever-expanding creative galaxy. So, let me introduce you to the new crew. We've got Lunar Velocity, a speedster who could give anyone a run for their money. Then there's Neon Astra, who can manipulate pure energy. And I love this one, Luna Mothra. She's a daughter of Mothman, and get this, she's a defender of all cryptids. How cool is that? Each one is like a new star just lighting up his universe. And he didn't just imagine these heroes. He wrote their anthem. He created this instrumental piece he called Neon Fury, and he meticulously crafted its sound for one specific purpose, to be a killer, high-energy anime hype track. He was even picturing it as the score for a race between Lunara Velocity and another one of his characters, Arya Moonro. You can just feel the energy. But, a day with that much intense creation, it needs some balance. You have to wonder, right? How does all this cosmic energy stay grounded? Well, let's take a look at the simpler, more human rhythms of his day that connect all this extraordinary stuff to the everyday. So the afternoon was all about family. It was a time for connection that was, fun, but also pretty draining. And it's often in those quiet moments that come right after all the noise that we make some of the most honest discoveries about ourselves, isn't it? And that's exactly what happened here. Just a simple, authentic thought. It's such a deeply human insight. And honestly, it gives us a much clearer window into who he is than any big cosmic adventure could. It's just a little reminder that we all need that balance, that quiet connection. And this is so important to understand. All this incredible creativity is built on a solid foundation of routine. His daily rituals, walking miles for charity, reading comics to get inspired, playing around with new AI tools, and fine-tuning his project generator, the Creativity Roller, these are the anchors. They're what allow his imagination to really take flight. So as the day starts to wind down, it's time to gather up all the brightest moments, Time to reflect on the sparks that really defined the day and to see the actual, tangible impact of all his work. And that impact, it's definitely not just internal. Just look at these numbers. They represent a whole universe of people connecting with the stories he's creating. I mean, in just 48 hours, thousands and thousands of views. Every single one of those is a person who's been touched by that creative spark that started, well, as just a little dream. And finally, these are his own hand-picked highlights for the day, the ones he put in his highlight comic. And just notice the beautiful balance here. You've got the inner world of the dream, the physical act of charity, the warmth of family, the pure joy of creating something new, and the validation from the outside world. It's just a perfect constellation of a day well lived. And that's where we'll end our journey for today. But I want to leave you with a question. Nicholas, he charts his inner cosmos and brings back these treasures to share with all of us. So take a moment and think about your own inner universe. If your dreams were a map, where do you think they would lead you?